Om Agyanandimrandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavasha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahikana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahigana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitansha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastate Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusate Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpatarubhascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna. So everyone can see my screen? Okay. Before we start, we have some new joiners today. So could you please raise your hand if you're here for the first time? We'll just do a quick run around. Please raise your hand. We'll not in the photo. If you can raise your virtual hand, and if you can just quickly unmute yourself, just tell your name, normal or spiritual, and just tell how long you've been associated with ISKCON and if you have read Bhagavad Gita. So we have Gauri Prabhu as the first one, Prabhuji. Just a quick.
Hare Krishna, my name is Gauri Shankar. I've been associated with ISKCON since my childhood for a long time, and I've read parts of the Bhagavad Gita, but I have not read the full thing properly.
Okay, thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Rohan Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. I'm Rohan Prabhu. I've been part of ISKCON for I've been going to the temple since like it's been about 10 years, but been taking it a bit more seriously for the last 3 years. I haven't read Bhagavad Gita fully yet, but I've read parts of it.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Anyone else joining for the first time today?
Yeah,
Priya Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. My name is Priya, and I have joined ISKCON it's been like 3 years now. But yeah, and I haven't read the Bhagavad Gita. I have read the small version of Bhagavad Gita back in the 2020, but not this one, not this one. I haven't read the whole Bhagavad Gita. I have only read the small one.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mataji. Anyone else for the first time? Rashika Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, my name is Rasika, and I think I have joined ISKCON during COVID time, and I have read Bhagavad Gita like 2 times, but I haven't read completely, but I have read like half.
Okay, thank you, Mataji. Mohan Prabhu.
Hare Krishna everyone, I'm Mohan and I've been with ISKCON approximately since 6 years on and off, and since past couple of years I took it a bit seriously and try to follow everything, and I haven't read Bhagavad Gita fully, but I'll try to complete it before we go into the lecture part. Hare Krishna.
Okay, thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Anyone else for the first time today?
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
I'm Shahal. I joined ISKCON almost a year ago, and I've read Bhagavad Gita 2 times.
Hari Bol. Very nice. Good to hear that. Anyone else here? Sneha Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna. I am with ISKCON from last, not yet 2 years. But yeah, and I have read Bhagavad Gita once fully. And as I watched the first session where you said that we supposed to read Bhagavad Gita twice before continuing this, so I have started it second time, and I hope I finish it
Thank you.
before we continue.
Thank you, Mataji. Anyone else? Okay, so everyone was there last week as well. Okay, thank you. Yeah, so if you have not read it, to be honest, this course will be very beneficial if you have read Bhagavad Gita like at least twice. So if you haven't read as yet, that's okay. At least start reading right now. And before coming to the class, the topic will be announced. So please read that chapter at least before coming to the class, because if you have read that chapter, your understanding will be much better. Otherwise, first time, if you're just coming across those topics, it may be a little difficult. So please read. You can read 10 times, no problem. Bhagavad Gita is very, very nice. And every time you read, you will find definitely 100% something new. So it's always ever fresh book. Okay, I'll just quickly repeat what we said last time because there are some new people here. Just literally 2 minutes and then we'll start our today's session. So as we know, this is Bhakti Shastri course. It runs every Wednesday, 7 to 9 online. Some people are asking this question in person. No, it's not in person. It's totally online. Most of the time, our classes will be on Wednesday, except there is a festival in the temple or there is some special program. And then we will reschedule and we'll talk to you about it and we'll reschedule at the most appropriate time. This course will run roughly around 3 years. So 2 years for Bhagavad Gita because we are only having one class per week. Unless it's needed closer to the exams, we may do 2 classes, but again, we'll discuss that with you. But roughly speaking, 2 years for Bhagavad Gita, which will have 3 modules. And if you can see on my screen, people have asked this question, so I'm just trying to respond to that. Okay, actually, I wanted to cover this as well. So before we start, we all offer our obeisances to Srila Prabhupada, and even if you're on mute, please read these verses. It's very nice because this is all Prabhupada's glory, who has given us so nice materials. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Te Namne Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharane Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschata Deshatarane. Now, anyone can read the translation for the first verse. Many times we know the verse, but not the translation, so at least good to read. Anyone?
I'm
I
happy to
offer
read.
my
Yes, Mata,
respectful
please.
obeisances unto His Divine Grace S.T. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, who is very dear to Lord Krishna, having taken shelter at His lotus feet.
Yeah, so it said Vishnu Padaya. So Lord Krishna has given him shelter. And Krishna Prashtaya, Prashtaya means to send. So Krishna has personally sent Prabhupada. One of the lecture, Giriraj Maharaj was saying, Prabhupada is a Sakha of Krishna. He is a Sakyaras with Krishna. And Prabhupada wasn't ready to come, but Krishna said, no, you please go, and I'll make all the arrangements for you. So Prabhupada is very, very dear to Krishna. He is personal associate. He's a Sakha of Krishna. And he has been personally sent by Krishna, empowered by Lord Nityananda. So he's not just a normal guru. He's an acharya who comes, my Guru Maharaj said, once in a day of Brahma as Krishna. So Krishna only comes once in a day of Brahma. Prabhupada also comes only once in a day of Brahma. So how fortunate we are just to have so much live association of Prabhupada. Now, we haven't seen the Vapu of Prabhupada, but we live with Prabhupada practically every day because he has given the whole foundation. Second one, Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharane. I will not expand too much on these verses. We can have a whole class on this verse. So Gauravani Pracharane. So why Prabhupada is here? Gaura refers to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Gauravani Pracharane. So he is expanding the message of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Nirvishesha. Nirvishesha refers to impersonal Shunyavadi, Buddhist philosophy. Shunyavad. During the course, we'll talk more about it. Paschatya Desha Tarine. So he's here to liberate, to help Paschatya, Western countries. It doesn't mean not India. So India is supposed to be liberated. But anyway, it's gone west and from west to east back. So the translation, anyone else? Nandri Mataji?
I'm sure. Our respectful obeisances are unto you, O spiritual master, servant of Saraswati Goswami. You are kindly preaching the message of Lord Chaitanya Deva and delivering the Western countries, which are filled with impersonalism and voidism.
Yeah. So this is the purpose of Prabhupada's appearance in this material world. We should never forget that. And then we'll have very close connection with Prabhupada. Okay, now Prabhupada has written some letters. I'm not going to read that letter. Last time we read it. So Prabhupada personally introduced this course and we read many quotations of Srila Prabhupada. If you were not here last week, you can watch the video. And we have quotations from Prabhupada himself. So this Bhakti Shastri course is not designed by Prabhupada followers or his disciples. Is personally designed by Prabhupada. And Ghanshyam Prabhu was here last week. He said actually it's designed by his Guru Maharaj, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada. Very interesting. So Prabhupada gave us these 4 courses himself. Now first one, which we are doing right now, we're commencing it. Bhakti Shastri, which covers 4 books, Bhagavad Gita, Sri Ishopanishad, Nectar of Instruction, and Nectar of Devotion. Why these 4 books? We'll talk about it when we talk about Ishopanishad, not today. But these 4 books are covered in depth study as much as possible in the next 3 years. Then Prabhupada gave Bhakti Vaibhav, which is first 6 canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. Many devotees in the previous batch who have finished Bhakti Shastri, now they're going to pursue this Bhakti Vaibhav degree. Very nice to study with very experienced teachers. Srimad Bhagavatam for 6 cantos. Then we have Bhakti Vedanta, which is study of 7 to 12 canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. Again, they are very, very nice courses. And the last one, which is the highest, at least in ISKCON this time, is Bhakti Sarvabhauma, Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, the whole text. So these are sort of the hierarchy. So we are sitting in this hierarchy, in the first hierarchy. Even in the first hierarchy, we are supposed to be chanting 16 rounds. We should have read Bhagavad Gita at least twice so that we can take full benefit of it. So they're quite serious courses and personally designed and recommended by Prabhupada. Prabhupada disciples, my Guru Maharaj also said, everyone must do Bhakti Shastri at least once. At least once. Not once, at least once. I know devotees who have done like twice or thrice Bhakti Shastri. Even in this batch, last batch, it was when Mataji was doing second time, and now she was asking me if I can do the third time. Because it's so nice to hear Prabhupada books, especially in a group. So please take it seriously. And as our expectation, as we discussed last week, that you should be studying these books at least 2 hours a week, at least 2 hours a week. And definitely more than that is most welcome. Now, there are the 6 modules. So if you were not here last week, 3 modules is for Bhagavad Gita. Chapter 1 to 6, obviously, is module 1. We'll be starting it from next week. Chapter 7 to 12 is module 2, and module 3 is Bhagavad Gita 13 to 18. Why there are 3 different modules? We'll talk about it today. Module 4 is Sri Ishopanishad, Nectar of Instruction is module 5, and the last one will be Nectar of Devotion. Roughly speaking, 150 classes, including assessments and revisions. Usually what I do, I try to do after each module, 2 classes for revision and then 1 exam. And then we start the next module. So this is how we'll try to follow as best as possible. What are the marks divisions? So as we can see on the screen, the open book assessment, which is your personal assessment. I'll explain you today after 10 minutes or so. What is this open book assessment? This will carry 30% of the mark in the total weightage. Closed book assessment, which you'll be appearing personally in the exam. You'll be writing without the help of any book. That will carry 40% weightage. Shloka test, you have to recite the shloka. We'll give you the list and all that, 20% of it, and attendance is 10% weightage. Now, first 3 assessments, you have to carry at least 65% marks in each assessment, in each module. So if you fail a module, you have to just reappear in that module again. Yeah, try not to do it. As Ghanshyam Prabhu said, he is trying to keep this course very simple, accessible to everyone. He is very, very kind, honestly speaking. Other Bhakti Shastri, and I've done others. I have run batches. I've done myself Bhakti Shastri. The assessment levels are really high. But our Ghanshyam Prabhu, you should say really thank you to Ghanshyam Prabhu when you see him next time. He has made this course very easily available. I was speaking to Ghanshyam Prabhu this week, I guess. I said, can we increase the shloka list? And he said, no, it's all right. He's really kind. He's a very, very good person. So he has kept the list as it is. So we are very grateful to him. But attendance, even he recommends it has to be 75%. If you don't complete 75% attendance, sorry, but you'll not get your certificate. We are making it very clear from the beginning. And if no camera, no attendance. You'll see one or two devotees who are not switching on their camera. They are not from this batch, except some have just appeared. They're actually from the previous batch. They just wanted to hear the classes, so they are here for that purpose, but they're not getting attendance. If you also off the camera, unless there's some emergency, you'll not get the attendance. Sorry, this is the rules expectation from this academy, so please try to follow that. Pass marks, as I said, 65%, okay? Okay, why we are doing this Bhakti Shastri course is this is deepening our Vaishnava qualities. I'm not going to go through this. Today we can watch the video. And last slide we read last time was by Sri Radhanath Maharaj, which is setting up the mood why we are doing Bhakti Shastri. Anyone remembers what Maharaj said in nutshell? There are many disciples of Maharaj. I can see them on the call. Hare Krishna. No one remembers why we are doing Bhakti Shastri? Sakhi Radhika Mataji. She's a very senior devotee.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhu, basically, I don't remember exactly, but
That's all right.
my understanding from what we had learned was that it is not for just accumulating knowledge, but how to understand in our practical day-to-day life, how can we apply to come closer to Krishna is the essence. That's what I remembered.
Yeah.
Sorry, Prabhu,
No,
if I'm
thank you, Mata. That's perfect. So we're not here to gain another certification. There are hundreds of certifications in the world. We are here to change our life. Otherwise, it's just information in the head. Our heart should change. Heart transformation is the goal, not having extra load on the head. Actually, it may backfire us. So if we become proud of the knowledge which we have and not applying it, practically speaking, in our life, then it just become a weightage. Bhagavatam says, Shrama eva hi kevalam. It's just shram. It's just a labor, extra labor which you have done. So keep that goal in the mind. If you have that goal, you can really gain something out of this course and studies together. Okay, preface. This is where we're going to start. Now, before I go to the preface, I'll just show you what we have in Bhagavad Gita, because this is just following Prabhupada Bhagavad Gita. Everyone can see my screen still? Yeah, I've just changed it. Now, this is Bhagavad Gita as it is. This is on Veda base online. So you see on the top here, setting the scene, dedication, preface, introduction. So we'll just talk a part of it. Obviously, we can't read. Obviously, going through the whole course also, we're not going to read all the purports of Prabhupada, but we'll be picking up the main sections. And that's why we strongly recommend that you personally read again and again those purports, then you can understand it better. So now, if you see here, it says setting the scene. Setting the scene means setting the scene. Before we start this book, because Prabhupada's main audience that time when Prabhupada published this, and there's a nice story of publishing of this book as well, if you didn't know, when Prabhupada arrived in West, his main audience was Western audience, and Prabhupada was not well known that time, at least 1965-66 when he established the ISKCON. Prabhupada was not well known. He had some followers that time, and they were mostly hippies. They were not so well established. They were not so connected to the culture. So it was a bit difficult. But Prabhupada had this commentary written, and his disciples that time, or followers that time, Brahmanand Prabhu and Hayagriva Prabhu, they were trying to print the book, but publishers were not interested in printing something which people will not buy because it's an investment, basically. So they were trying. And one day, I guess, Hayagriva Prabhu, he writes in his book, Hare Krishna Explosion, that he received a letter from Macmillan. Macmillan was the best publisher of books that time. Still, they are quite well-respected publishers. So they received a letter that we are interested in your book. Please come and see us in the office. So devotees became very happy. They took some Mahaprasad. They went to the office. Eventually, to find out there's a clerk in the office who was working at Macmillan, just a normal clerk. He was interested to purchase a Bhagavad Gita for himself. So not for printing or anything. And when devotees came to know, they were a bit disappointed. But while they were talking to this clerk, all of a sudden, by Krishna's arrangement, the biggest boss of Macmillan just walked past. And this clerk became very soft, and he stood up and said, "Good morning." And he said, "He's the biggest boss in Macmillan." So devotee said, "Can we meet him?" And he said, no, no, you can't meet him. It will take months to get his appointment. Anyway, devotees were a little disappointed. But again, by Krishna's arrangement, this boss himself came out of his chamber and saw these, weird looking devotees in saffron and the shikha and the shaved head. And he said, we are publishing all the religious books of the world. And we have published Quran, we have published Bible, but we don't have anything on Hinduism. Are you connected to a Swami? And devotee is like, yes, we are connected to a Swami. And he said, a real Swami? Yes, a real Swami. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Prabhupada. Has your Swami written any book on Bhagavad Gita? Yes, and we have the whole commentary on it. So right on the spot, Krishna inspired this person who generally will take months to meet, and there are so long processes of publishing the book. Devotees could meet him immediately, and he was very happy to publish the book. All he requested devotees, your Swami commentaries are too long, cut them short. We only want our book to be 400 pages, around 400 pages. So Hayagriva Prabhu was given this task of cutting Prabhupada commentaries. What was not useful, you can imagine, huh? Prabhupada, each and every word was so useful, but he was given the task of cutting the Prabhupada commentaries, which he did for the first publication. Anyway, so he presented Prabhupada commentaries around half of it, because Prabhupada's original commentary was around 700 pages. And finally, the book got published by Macmillan, and through that, actually, Prabhupada got quite a few number of audience. Many scholars also came to him and gave very positive statements about the books, and Prabhupada became actually popular through the first publishing. But later on, when the sale increased, Prabhupada said, now we can have our own press, and we want to publish the whole book. And then Prabhupada started his own press, and that was known as, anyone can guess? No, Yash Prabhu has said something. It wasn't BBT, it was ESCON Press. So first it was known as ESCON Press. So ESCON Press was the first name under which devotees published Bhagavad Gita. Later on, obviously, it became as BBT, Bhakti Vedanta Book Trust, and we still publish books on that banner. So ESCON Press published the first book, and in that ESCON Press book, before we come to ESCON Press, and one more Macmillan, some foreword was written by some so-called popular Allen Ginsberg, who was a popular hippie that time. So he wrote a foreword, so that also helped him. So in one day he was serving Prabhupada. Anyway, after that book was published, which was like half of it, then the full book came from ESCON Press, and that full book had, preface, introduction, everything, setting up the scene. So we is still carrying that. Now, setting up the scene means if a Western audience reading the Bhagavad Gita for the very first time, he would have no idea why these two parties are fighting, who is all, chapter 1 is full of names if you have read it, and they will not get much light there. So setting up the scene is something from giving a context for the books, something from Mahabharata, for example, which Prabhupada has written, just to give context to the audience before they read the book for the first time, so they understand actually what's happening. We'll talk about setting up the scene, and we also have dedication to Prabhupada. We also have preface and introduction. Preface is also a sort of introduction of the book, and here Prabhupada introduces few concepts, and we'll talk about those concepts, and then Prabhupada introduces the book, formally speaking, which is under introduction. So what we're going to do today, we're going to talk about the preface and introduction and little bit setting of the scene as well. Once we have done these three parts, then we'll have a much better understanding of Bhagavad Gita, and then we can enter in the chapter 1. So that's the plan. Everyone okay with that? Okay, so just getting some introduction. And now, while we are preparing ourselves for the introduction, I'll also introduce this MIHE guide. Everyone has received this guide, MIHE, unless you're joining today for the first time. So, Yash Prabhu, where are you? Can you raise your hand, please? Not virtual hand, please. So everyone can see you, Prabhu. You come at the front of the queue. You can raise your virtual hand. So Sundar Gopal Prabhu, he's not on the call today. He's a bit busy, but he will join sometime. So Sundar Gopal Prabhu and Yash Prabhu, they both group admins. If you have any question related to the course, please go to them. They look after the whole thing. I just come and blabber a few things. Okay. He's having a different reactions. Haribol. Nice. So he's our Yash Prabhu, very well known by everyone. You are not going to Sydney Temple if you don't know Yash Prabhu. If you're going to Sydney Temple, you must know Yash Prabhu. So if you have any questions regarding any course material, any PDF files, any attendance, anything, literally, please go to Yash Prabhu and he should be able to help you. And obviously, I also take help from Yash Prabhu for many course things. So this is MIHE guide. MIHE refers to Mayapur Institute of Higher Education. This MIHE guide is our, like all in all, this is where we are connected to MIHE. So MIHE will be sending you all the certificates as we are running the course as a representative of MIHE in local Sydney. So once you finish your course and you pass all the modules, MIHE will be sending you the certificates. So this MIHE guide will let us go through the whole thing, how we're going to conduct this course. So as you can see, there's course aims. Last week we discussed about the course aims. If you're not there, watch the video. Course overview, we have given some overview and we'll give a little more right now. Bhakti Shastri assessment, we already talked about. And it talks about unit 1, 2, and 3. We have already spoken about. Let's go to a little more details here. Please read all that. It's very, very useful in doing your assignments, especially. Okay, it says unit 5 only, but we have 6 modules, as I've just explained. How do you write your essay? I'll talk about the essay in a minute, but please go to this page. This is page 9, sample open book assessment answer. So please go through the principles because your copy will be marked based on these principles. So please go through them. Again, if you have any doubt, we can always talk about it. That's not a problem, but please go through it yourself. It's quite self-explanatory. This is the verses for memorization, and we'll be sending you another PDF file. Sundar Gopal Prabhu or Yash Prabhu, they will be putting. So there's a Google Drive, which you should all have access to. If you don't have it, you will get it very soon. That drive will have all the documents. So don't worry if you have missed any documents or if you have missed on any comms. So that drive will have all the documents. That drive will also have how many essays you're going to write. Sundar Gopal Prabhu also makes the templates for you to make your life very easy. So there will be templates there. You just pick up your template and start writing, literally. So there will be PDF files for this. So all the shlokas will be in one PDF file. So you can just print it out or put it on your phone and then you can remember the shlokas. We will be learning more shlokas out of this list as well. We'll talk about the shlokas next week. I don't want to give too much on day 1. Okay, so this is where this Bhagavad Gita chapter 1 to 6 comes in. Now, if you go to page 15 on your MIHE guide, so this is like an introduction to the chapter 1, for example, and it has, you can see, like 4 themes: preparation for the war, verses 1 to 13, signs of victory 14 to 20, Krishna is Bhakta Vatsala 21 to 27, Arjuna's doubts 28 to 46. So if you read that before coming to class of chapter 1, for example, you'll get pretty good idea what we are reading, which section we are reading, how these sections are interrelated. This is pretty good. You can see on this page 14, chapter 1 has like 5 themes, chapter 2 has multiple themes. So please read through all that, and it has relevant verses as well. Very, very useful in understanding the themes. Now, I'll not go through all that. I wanted to show you your assignment. So this is page 25. Again, it's with you already. So this is questions for the closed book assessment. It's the open book assessment, actually. You can definitely refer to your book or any other notes while you're answering your questions. So this is already with you. So chapter 1 has 11 questions, 2 has 33, blah, blah, blah. So total 63 questions are there. So I just wanted to put them today itself. So this is what you're supposed to do as a assignment for module 1. So there are 63 questions and you just have to explain each one. Many of them are quite straightforward. So please don't write your answer in one line. It has to be some explanation of it, your understanding of it. Don't cut, copy, paste. Please write in your own words. You can definitely look at the book, but please write in your own words. This is very important. If you get the answers which are literally cut, copy, paste, you'll get 0 marks or the copies will be sent back to you. Do not try to take help of chat GPT, etc. We have rejected the copies in the past. Please don't do that. This course is not for passing the exam, for your understanding. So whatever you understand, and we are not testing your English grammar skills. Even if your English is weak, it's not your first language, it's perfectly fine. But the assignments has to be your own understanding. So this is literally straightforward questions, and MIT has also given you the verse number. So you can go to that verse, read Prabhupada purport, and try to present your own understanding of that. This is analogies. You can read it when you get chance. Now, this is also very important. This is page 29. So this has 7 essay questions. We call it essay questions. Yes, Prabhu, also Nagopal Prabhu, if he's here. I can't remember. You have to do 2 or 3 out of these 7. We'll let you know everything. So I think there are 2 essays or 3 essays for first module. So you have to just write that. The minimum expectation is 750 words. Definitely you can exceed. Devotees have written in the past, just for your knowledge, up to 2000 words. Some have written 2500 words as well. So they write, and everything is most welcome, and write on your own. Please give context, references, and how do you have to write it. As I said, that was, I think, page 9, if I'm not wrong. The principles of writing, yes. So page 9, so page 10 or 9, whatever, 10, 11, and 12, please read through and see how you can get maximum marks in the essay. So each essay will be like 10 marks, and these assignments will be 2 or 3 or 1 marks. Everything, yeah, it will just come through. So any questions on assignments from anyone? And you can start doing your assignment from today. So you don't have to submit today. Obviously, we'll tell you at least 1 month before you have to submit. It will be towards the end of the module, obviously, but it will be much before the exam, so that we can check the assignments, and if any assignments are not correct, we can come back to you and sort of improve your answers, try to help you out as much as possible before you sit in the exam. Yes, Acharya Prabhu.
Roji, the questions for closed book assessment is same as open book?
Yes, it should be actually open book. Yeah. So your closed book will be your actual exam, Prabhu, which you'll be writing in the temple as you have done in the past. So that's a closed book. This is open book. You can refer to any notes or book or books. Everything is okay. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Meera Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Just one question. Regarding these questions, like you have 63 questions.
Yes.
Which is all open closed book assessment.
It's an open book assessment. You can call it open book. Like you can refer to your book.
Okay,
This
okay,
you write
so
at home, Mataji, in your own time. You can start today, take 5 months to write it, no problem. You can refer any notes, you can listen any lectures, give any references you like.
so what is the closed book assessment?
That will be your actual exam, Mataji. After we have finished 6 chapters, there will be a dedicated date for exam, where most of us will come to the temple, Radha Gopinath temple, unless you are, out of state or something, and then you'll be having online exam. So there you'll be given a physical piece of paper, Mataji, and there will be writing exam for 2 hours, and there you have to recite the shlokas.
On the same questions or different questions?
Different questions, obviously. So the first 6 chapters, there will be an exam paper.
I see. And how many questions are there?
How many questions? We don't know actually. There is no exam paper as yet, but there will be roughly, I guess, 40 questions, Mataji, which you have to write in 2 hours. Yeah,
Okay.
I'm just saying, I don't know. Exam paper will be coming from Ghanshyam Prabhu. So he
Didn't
defines.
he say it was multiple choice the previous time?
No, it was all descriptive questions. But this time it may be whatever Ghanshyam Prabhu decides, Mataji.
Okay, sure.
Yeah.
Thank you.
But as I said, he's very kind. He's very, very kind. And you can take guidance from the previous batch.
Right.
Yeah.
All right.
So
Thanks.
that will be your actual closed book exam, Mataji, for 2 hours plus shloka assessment.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Anshu Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji,
Hare
the
Krishna.
spelling you showed now, should we do in a paper and submit
No,
it?
everything will be in the laptop. So I don't want any hard copies. So it's very easy to check. And I don't want PDFs, I want doc files. Obviously, your original version will be maintained. So I can write some comments if I wanted to. So please send doc files. and it will all be confidential, obviously, and you'll be sent the whole report after the exam. So Sundar Gopal Prabhu prepares a very nice 5 pages report, and everything will be perfectly defined there. Okay? Is
Thank
that
you.
okay, Anshu Mataji?
Yeah, thank you.
Supriya Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu,
Hare Krishna.
when we complete assignment like 4 or 5 questions,
Yes.
how can we send it to you?
Okay, Mataji, you only send the assignment when I ask you. But what usually devotees do, they talk to each other, they have another WhatsApp groups, and before they send the assignment, they actually confirm with peers or seniors that their assignment is correct. So you can do that, Mataji, on your own.
Okay, Prabhu, and where to submit means?
You'll be given that information. There's a specific Gmail address, which I don't have it, Mata, but group admins, they have all the details. So Mataji, that drive will have all the information. So yeah, if you just relax for another week or so, they're getting ready, and they will give you all the access, Mataji. So if you still have any questions, obviously we are here to respond.
Okay.
Yeah, so there is a specific Gmail address where you have to submit your assignment. Okay, yeah. Thank you, Mataji. Maya Deesh Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Do we wait for the chapter 1 to get over to do the assignment?
No,
Or
you can start today, Prabhu. You can finish it
Right.
tonight.
Okay.
It's in your hands. Actually, all the 6 module assignment are already in this PDF. You can do the assignment of Nectar of Devotion today. I'm just saying. It's with you already. This guide has everything, obviously, except the final exam paper, which you'll only receive at the exam time, which is understood. As you go to the uni, there's a final exam. So the assignments on the way. But all the assignments are given, Prabhu. You can go to the whole MIHE guide. It's around 111 pages. All the assignments are already in this. Recommendation is, if you wanted to, I used to do all the assignments from day one, and whenever I finish, and I improve my answers as I go, because many devotees start the assignment a week before. Trust me, it doesn't work. They get stressed out and they make others stress as well. So don't do that. Start today, or as you go along with the chapter, you can do that. Obviously, as I said, they're pretty straightforward. You can, if you have read Bhagavad Gita, you can answer them and go and read. It says, like, for example, why the trust was fearful. Go to 1.1, read the translation and the purport. You'll get the answer, actually. Write it. And after 1 month, if you realize I can improve my answers, please do that. So I found that very, very useful. And don't write assignment for the sake of marks again. I still refer to my assignment, which I had written, I don't know, 14, 15 years ago, because that's my understanding. So they're very, very useful. So write it for you and your understanding. You can refer it back 10 years later as well, not just for submission. So you can start today, Mayadhish Prabhu, Nectar of Devotion assignment, which you will be submitting probably in 2028. I'm just saying, if you wanted to. Okay.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Salan Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare
So
Krishna.
just a question, like, so that we will be having 2 open book assessment, like these 63 question and the other that long questions.
That's a closed book assessment. Okay, yes, 2. So this is one assignment, Prabhu. They're called short questions and the essays, which you have to write, which is the essay. So you have to write 2 to 3 essays each module.
Okay, so
Yeah.
one
So
open book
minimum 2
assessment is
essays
short
each.
questions.
Yeah, so these are
So
short
one is
questions. Yeah, so these are 63 short questions, Prabhuji. You can write in 2, 3, 4, 5 lines, whatever. And the essay will be minimum 750 words to whatever you like. And the essay is like, yeah, time consuming. So you have to put your understanding very nicely. And if you give any references from Prabhupada books, again, okay, I'm telling you today itself, you have to sort of gray out those things. You can definitely give Prabhupada purports, no problem with that, but gray out, the color will be different, and those wordings will not be counted. You know what I'm saying? Otherwise, people will give 6 Prabhupada references and the whole essay is finished. No. So those part of Prabhupada purports, you can definitely cut and copy. But suppose Prabhupada purport is 50 words, those 50 words will not be counted against 750 words. 750 words will be your own understanding, which you should write. Okay, we have more questions. Madhish Prabhu, is it your earlier hand or?
Yeah, sorry, I'm just going to lower my.
That's all right. Ayush Prabhuji, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Prabhu, just wanted to clarify. So the assessment, we can do it, we can start doing it from now, but when is the official deadline? At the end
Okay.
of the course?
Okay. Towards, no, not the end of the module, Prabhu. For each
End of the
module,
module.
you will have one assignment section, as you can see on the screen. And suppose the exam, I'm just saying, is on 15th of February. So you are expected to submit the assignment by 15th of January. So 1 month before the exam. And you'll get the dates, obviously. I'm just giving an example today. I don't know when the exam will be. We just go through the course and we decide a date 1 month before. But if you have done the assignment in the very beginning, it's really easy. And as I said, it's very straightforward answers. Yes, Prabhuji.
Sorry, Prabhu. And also the closed book exam, which we give in the temple, approximately how many months from now would it be? Or what's the duration?
Roughly speaking, Prabhu, module 1 is quite big, and I'm going to talk about it. Module 2 will be a little shorter. Module 3 will be a little shorter than module 1 because module 1 has the most number of verses. I'll explain that today. Yeah, so it's around 40% of the Bhagavad Gita is covered in module 1. And then you can say 30-30. So obviously module 1 takes the longest, and especially you're starting the course. We are setting up as well in first 2 weeks. So it takes the longest actually. So roughly speaking, we are looking exam in January, Prabhu, roughly speaking. Because December we do take some holidays because many families go away overseas, which is fine, roughly speaking. And we'll let you know, Prabhu, at least 4 weeks before.
And for the closed book exam, will there be like a sample sheet, so that we get a rough idea of what we can
So
expect?
similar to these assignment questions, Prabhu, what you're seeing right now on the screen, there'll be similar questions in this exam, Prabhu. There'll be no essays there. So similar questions, what you're seeing on the screen, Prabhu. Just
Okay,
explain your understanding in 2 to 3 lines, Prabhu.
Got it, Prabhu. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Okay, Mahadish Prabhu, second one.
Yes, Prabhu. Sorry, on the essays, because this is the 63, do we start writing that now as well?
Up to you.
Okay.
Yeah. So up to you. Again, as I said, write it and improve it. Because many of you have already read Bhagavad Gita. You have good understanding. So yeah, why not? I would say choose your 2 essays and start making up your mind. But yeah, attempt it nicely.
Sure.
Supriya Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Like chapter first, if we write an essay, so is it the briefing of a chapter or a particular shlokas?
Okay, Mataji, these are the questions. So based on these questions, you define. So it's not chapter 1 essay. So these are the questions, for example. So there's mood and mission of Prabhupada, preaching application, personal application. And again, they're also giving you references. So based on 2.6 and 11, please describe general principles drawn from Arjuna's dilemma are relevant to your own practice of Krishna consciousness with reference to Bhagavad Gita 2.6 to 11. So it's quite straightforward. So you read these, 5, 6 verses, their purports, and try to interpret in your own life like that.
Okay. Because I have not read now the questions, essays questions, but I'm thinking if a shloka is for 5 lines and there is an essay about that, so how will we
Now, this more
write
sort
this?
of application essays, Mataji, as you can see, preaching application, personal application. So it's not based on shloka you have to write. It's based on this topic, which is given on this screen. And there are 7 topics given here, Mataji. You can choose. You can read it through, Mata, and then we can talk about it if we have to. So read through all this, and then you get much better understanding.
Okay, Prabhu. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Sohel Prabhu.
I don't understand. Like, so for the open book, you said we can start like tonight, you can say?
Yeah, if you wanted
So,
to.
like, is the question you're showing now is like the ones we can do now, or
These ones, Prabhuji. So this
those,
actually page number 25 and 26 in the PDF file.
so with
which
that
is-
one, we just have to pick 3 and then we have to write an essay?
No, this one you have to write every single one, all 63, Prabhu. They are the short answers. You attempt all.
We do this one in the temple or at home?
No. This one you do at home, Prabhu.
Okay.
You have 6 months to do, for example. And you can do anytime you attempt every single question. 63 questions, please attempt. And these ones are essay questions. where you have to pick 2 or 3 essays, minimum 2, and I'll tell you if it is 3. I can't remember off the top of my head, but pick up 2 topics of your choice. And again, if you haven't read Bhagavad Gita, I think wait for some time, and then as you understand the concept, then write it. It's totally up to you, Prabhu, when you write it. Again, as I said, you don't have to submit today. You will be submitting in 5 months or so. But any 2 topics or 3 topics from here, and all 63 questions from here. They are the short answers, Prabhu.
Okay, all right,
Yeah,
thank you.
is that okay? Yeah. And on the exam day, you'll get a totally different exam paper, obviously. Huh? Okay, I guess we're all clear with the assignments. Everyone gets excited in the assignment and essays. Okay, let's come back to our actual course. So please go through this MIHE guide. Very, very useful. And if you have any questions, we can discuss. Okay, let's start our discussion today. So we'll start from preface of Bhagavad Gita. As I said, preface is also a sort of introduction. What I have done, I've gone through Prabhupada preface, and I've just collected few major points which we can discuss quickly today in some slides. So the content is Prabhupada's preface, so it's not outside anything. So let's go through what Prabhupada talks about. I've just put those topics in a nutshell, which is more applicable for us. Sohail Prabhu, you had another question before we start? Okay, it's your earlier hand. Okay, no worries, let's start. So Srimad Bhagavad Gita preface. So in the preface, Prabhupada starts his preface by talking about Krishna consciousness movement. So, and he gives 4 different points why this movement is so authorized and so important. He says it's a genuine, historically authorized movement. You would have heard a court case against ISKCON is a cult. So it's not a cult. Prabhupada had many court cases when even Prabhupada was here, even Prabhupada's departure, there were some court cases. It's not a cult, it's a genuine, historically authorized movement. This Bhagavad Gita was spoken 5,000 years ago, written by Vyasadeva 5,000 years ago. And you'll read in Bhagavad Gita itself, we'll read in 4th chapter in the beginning, Imam Vivasate Yogam Proktavahan Aham Abhyam. This knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, Krishna is saying this, was spoken to Vivaswan, sun god, millions of years ago. So this is not a cult. Cult means something which has just come through a empowered person, and it stays there for a few years, and when the empowered personality goes away, the whole movement goes away. It's not like that. This movement of Sanatana Dharma is been there for millions of years. So Prabhupada explaining that point. Gradually, it has become very popular, specifically younger generation. As we can see on the screen, there's so many young people joining Bhakti Sastri, which is very, very nice. Prabhupada time also, many, many young people were joining Prabhupada because they had energy, they had like open mindset to understand what the Swami was saying. So many, many younger people were joining the movement very fast. It is transcendental based on the teachings of Bhagavad Gita. So Prabhupada said, I'm not concocting any ideas on my own. This is completely based on the teachings of Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, message of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Many other so-called movements and their gurus say, I have never read Bhagavad Gita, I don't know any Vedas and Shastra, and they're very, very popular. So if anyone is like that, we should not be interested in that person or their teachings, because that's their mental concoction. That will not take us too far. They may look very good, very flowery language, they may have many, many followers, but that won't take us back to Godhead. But this Bhagavad Gita, this Srimad Bhagavatam, or this whole knowledge of Gaudiya Vaishnavism will take us back to Godhead, because this is based on Krishna and our Acharyas. We'll talk about it. Original father of this movement is Lord Krishna. So Prabhupada is not saying this movement started by me, I am the owner. No, he is saying original father of this movement. Pitaham asya jagto mata dhata pitamaha. Krishna himself says in Bhagavad Gita, I am the Pita, I am the Mata, I am the Dhata, I am the maintainer. So Krishna himself is claiming himself as Mata, Pita, Dhata, everyone. Pitaham Sars Jagato. I am the Pita of everyone. Aham Bij Pradapita. I have given the seed to everyone. So Krishna is saying, but Prabhupada is saying the same thing. Message coming down in disciplic successions. Again, Prabhupada said, I try to present the knowledge given to me by my teachers as it is. Prabhupada gives the whole credit to his spiritual master, Bhaktisiddhanta Maharaj, and he says, no credit to me. Now, anyone, for all the practical purposes, could have claimed this position that I have started this Krishna conscious movement. Prabhupada writes in Nectar of Devotion, this Hare Krishna movement is under the guidance of Srila Rupa Goswami. He clearly writes that. You can go and read. Huh? He says this movement is running under Srila Rupa Goswami. And Prabhupada explains on it why he's saying like that. In the preface, Prabhupada says, all credit to my spiritual master. In the Radhanath Maharaj message last week, we were reading about it. Maharaj was saying, service goes up and mercy comes down. So when we serve Krishna, even through reading, we are doing a service to Krishna, or in the temple, through chanting, or through any other deity seva or any other Vaishnava seva which we are doing. We are performing some seva. And through the seva, we are trying to please our seniors or our spiritual master. Spiritual master offers that seva to their spiritual master, to their spiritual master. Like that, through the parampara, the service is offered finally to Krishna. And when Krishna is pleased with that seva, what Krishna does, it offers back mercy to us. And mercy means, anyone remembers what does mercy mean? We talk about this word a lot in Hare Krishna movement. What does mercy mean?
Kripa.
Kripa, okay, that's right. Can you expand on it?
More devotional service.
More devotional service. That's also nice. Prabhu is always keen on more devotional service. What does it actually mean, practically speaking?
Attraction towards Krishna.
Attraction towards Krishna. Our attraction towards Krishna should grow more after doing that devotional service. That means we have pleased Krishna. And if attraction towards our name, fame, and other anarthas grow up in our heart, that means that service didn't please Krishna. We performed the service, but for our own ego pleasure, for our own sense gratification. So many services are performed by many devotees, so-called devotees, but they may not all be the pleasing services to Krishna or Guru or Acharyas. So what we have to keep in our mind as much as possible, any service we are performing, this is for the pleasure of my Guru, my seniors, this is for the pleasure of Srimati Radharani, this is the pleasure of Shri Shri Radha Gopinath. If we perform the service in that mood, service gives us the fruit of mercy. That means attraction to Krishna grows. Many times devotees say, I've been in the movement for 20 years, nothing is happening. One case may be they are very humble, which is the case with many people. Another case may be actually your performance of the seva, there's something wrong with that. Something is not aligned. Prabhupada gives the whole credit to his spiritual master. And he said very nicely, actually, this is a line from Preface of Prabhupada. My credit is, what is my credit? I tried to present Bhagavad Gita as it is without any adulteration. Without any adulteration. So this is very, very important. So we sometimes may give classes or present the philosophy to others, but we should try to present the philosophy in such a way that the principles are not compromised at all. So principle, now the details can vary. You can present your class or your philosophy in a way where audience can capture it, audience can understand it, but the principles cannot be changed, cannot be changed. Principles cannot be compromised. It has to come. So Prabhupada is saying, I've tried to present this knowledge in as it is format. What does as it is mean? We'll read a little later. Now Prabhupada talks about Krishna himself in the preface, and he gives 4 qualities of Krishna. Very nice, 4 qualities, and he will expand on it later in the book. So here, firstly, he's the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So without any doubt, without any thinking of I'll offend few people, he's just openly, Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. When Prabhupada was trying to open ISKCON and he was giving the name ISKCON, some followers suggested him to give name not ISKCON, International Society for Krishna Consciousness. They suggested we should have a more open name, International Society for God Consciousness. Prabhupada said, no. Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and we are clearly making the society is a following of Krishna consciousness, not God consciousness. So it was very clear. God means Krishna. There's no other God. Ekale Ishwar Krishna are sab bhratya. Everyone else is bhratya. Bhratya means servant. Everyone is servant. Ekale Ishwar Krishna. Ishvara Parama Krishna Sachidanand Vigraha Anadiradir Govinda Sarvakaran Karanam. So Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. There's no doubt. Prabhupada was very clear on it from day one. He wasn't worried who will be impressed, who will not be impressed. He was presenting the philosophy as it is. Krishna is Supreme Personality of Godhead. Krishna's inner spirit is not different. So like we have a soul, we have a subtle body, we have a gross body, but for Krishna, it doesn't work that way. Krishna's whole body is special. There's no matter there. There's no matter there. Even Brahmaji says Krishna's body is Satchid Anand Vigraha. His Vigraha is Satchidananda. Now we are also Satchidanand, but that Satchidanand is covered by matter. But in Krishna's case, his body and his spirit soul, there's no such thing called spirit. It's not separate. His body is the spirit. So there is no difference in that. And Prabhupada says Krishna is the absolute truth. You understand absolute truth and relative truth? Anyone can expand on that? What is absolute truth? What is relative truth? Anyone?
Absolute, maybe it's a axiomatic truth, like which you don't have to explain.
Yep.
It is already a swata praman, and
Yes.
relative truth much is like it depends, like each.
Yes.
Like
it depends. It may change.
Change.
Absolute truth never changes. Yes, Sanjay Prabhu.
Oh, Prabhuji, Hare Krishna, done with pronouns. Yes, I was about to say something very similar to Rajesh Prabhu, that there is no truth superior to absolute truth. It remains true in all circumstances, and relative truth is true in certain circumstances and is untrue in other circumstances.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Can you give an example, Sanjay Prabhu, while you have the mic, of a relative truth? Absolute truth, we understand Krishna. Relative truth example. Any example?
Yeah. Relative truth is, for example, being wealthy. A person is wealthy. It's a relative truth. They're wealthy at the moment. They may not be wealthy tomorrow. If circumstances change. Or healthy, they are healthy today, but tomorrow a certain chronic illness could arise and they may not be healthy anymore. Yeah.
Thank you. Very nice. So very simple examples. You are healthy, wealthy today. Don't know what will happen tomorrow morning. Huh? Nothing is stable in this world. It says the only certainty in this world is everything is uncertain. Everything is uncertain. So we should not rely on this false shelter. Prahlad Maharaj called this Durashraya. Durashraya means false shelter. And many times, many people rely on these false shelters as they are permanent. And that's why they get depressions, they get shocks. And people commit sometimes even suicides because they thought something will work out and that thing doesn't work out. But devotees are very clear. Everything is non-permanent, including you and me. We're sitting here tonight. We don't know what happens next moment. Internet dropouts. Everything is impermanent. But Krishna is not like that. He is always healthy. Have anyone heard Krishna got hospitalized? Jagannath ji got hospitalized. He's in Mathura Hospital, Vrindavan Hospital, Sydney, RNS or something. Nothing like that. So Jagannath ji, Gopinath is always, he's actually becoming fresher and fresher. Look at Gopinath today, look at Gopinath 50 years ago. He looks more young today. Now he's 50-year-old, more than 50 actually. What, 54th anniversary we just recently had? Something like that, huh? So this is Gopinath. And look at us, 5 years ago, when I came to Australia, I had a lot of hair. I still have some left. This is me, huh? So everyone is going through like that. Young people should not laugh too much. You will have it tomorrow. So it's going to happen to every single one without fail. But Krishna is not like that. He's absolute truth in all place, time, place, and circumstances. That is called absolute. And what we speak of him himself, even his name is absolute. Nam Namakari Bahuda, Nij Sarva Saktis, even his name is absolute. Padma Puran says, Nam Nami Abhinna. Krishna's name and Krishna himself is non-different. Even Krishna's name, everything of Krishna is absolute. We'll read more about it in Nectar of Devotion. Okay, the last one proposed. This absolute position of Krishna is difficult to understand if someone is not a devotee in Parampara. So many devotees claim to comment on Bhagavad Gita or they give lectures on Krishna. Many times their explanations are not bona fide, they are not complete. They have incomplete understanding just because they are not coming in a proper disciplic succession. They don't have a guru. It says, if you don't have a guru, your knowledge cannot be trusted. Now, it doesn't mean if you have a guru, your knowledge is trustworthy. If you have not served your guru nicely, because the knowledge is a transmission from heart to heart, not just head to head. Head to head knowledge transmission is very easy. Everyone has Google, Chat GPT. You can get any number of knowledge. You can prepare a PPT in seconds these days. But that knowledge is not going to change our heart or anyone else's heart. Bhakti Charu Maharaj was giving a class many years ago in Sydney, and he said there were a few devotees in the class that day, but Maharaj, as Maharaj is so sweet and so smart, he said, imagine if Amitabh Bachchan was giving this class today. I said that in the class. There will be 100,000 people sitting in the class, 100,000 people. But he may not be able to change the heart of even a single person. Single person. With all respect to Amitabh Bachchan, the point here is, so your popularity does not mean you are very advanced or you can make others advanced. Bhaktivinoda Thakur says your advancement is dependent on how many hearts you can touch. How many hearts you can touch. So one of the sign of an advanced devotee is how many people's heart he has touched. So if you are touching many, many hearts, you are changing many, many hearts, that means Krishna is pleased with you. And through Krishna, that empowerment is coming in that person, and that he's transforming others' life as well. So these four truths Prabhupada talks in the preface. Let's go to the next one. Then Prabhupada talks about Mayavad Bhashya. What is Mayavad Bhashya? What is Mayavad? So Vad means philosophy, Maya means Maya or illusory. The philosophy of Maya. Now it has many meanings. We'll keep it simple today. So philosophy which talks about everything is illusion. Brahma Satya Jagat Mithya. You would have heard this statement. So Brahma Satya Jagat Mithya. So everything which is Brahman is Satya, everything in Jagat is Mithya or illusion. We don't agree with that philosophy. We say Brahma Satya, no doubt about it. Jagat Mithya. This Mithya does not mean illusion. They say illusion. Illusion means, instead of, that's what the example they give, Mayavadis give, that if there is a rope there, you see rope as a snake or a snake as rope. But if it's a snake, it's not a rope. And if it's a rope, it's not a snake. Don't get confused with this. That's their philosophy. So either one exists, other one doesn't exist, right? Either it's a snake or a rope. That's what they say. So it's an illusion in your mind. You are seeing rope as a snake. What we say, no, this Jagat is not false. This Jagat is temporary. Do you agree with that? My laptop is not permanent, but it's temporary. I can touch it. Myself, my body is not a illusion. I'm not a bhoot, at least not today. So there's a gross body there. I'm just not made of only subtle body. So things do exist, but things are impermanent. That's why we have to see those things in the light of Krishna consciousness. Then we have a perfect understanding. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnam Udachyate. Everything is complete, but we have an incomplete understanding of the complete things. We think things are incomplete. We think we don't have a bigger car in our life. We don't have that house in our life. We don't have that person in our life. We think like that. But it's not like that. We have Krishna with us. Krishna in the form of Paramatma never leaves us. Throughout the journey in this material world, Krishna never leaves us, no matter which species we go in. Anyway, coming back to Mayavad Bhashya, Prabhupada says, scholars, politicians, philosophers, and swamis writing commentary on Srimad Bhagavad Gita without perfect knowledge of Krishna, they try to banish or even kill Krishna. And Prabhupada is not just not writing the words, it truly exists. And we can talk about this Mayavad Bhashya a lot, but they literally kill Krishna. That means they say there is no such thing called Krishna. And it's very surprising. Such unauthorized commentary is known as Mayavad Bhashya. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, this is in Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya 6.169, Mayavadi Bhashya Sunile Hoye Sarva Nash. So if you even listen the commentaries of Mayavadi Bhashya, Hoyle Sarva Nash. It says if you want to associate with Mayavadi people or you want to associate with jungle animals, for example, which one would you prefer? Hare Krishna. Any brave people? Srinivas Prabhu?
Previously you mentioned about there many people write the books. I find one book that is so popular Indian earlier president.
Yes.
Dr. Sarvepalli Radhakrishnan.
Yes.
He wrote a book with Bhagavad Gita. In that entire book, he never mentioned Krishna. He mentioned only God.
See, here we are. I didn't want to name that. Prabhu is very brave. He naming. So India's president writing a commentary on Bhagavad Gita. And Prabhupada mentioned that actually. So what
First
Prabhu is saying,
president, first Indian president.
first Indian president. So you can imagine, and not writing even once word Krishna. So how can you make commentary on Bhagavad Gita? And it's very popular. Many people are reading those Bhagavad Gitas. So all these commentaries are definitely not recommended. We should not hear about them because that will ruin our whole devotional foundation. Thank you, Prabhuji. Now, my question was, would you like to associate with a Mayavadi person or would you like to associate with, in open, jungle animals? Mayadish Prabhu, be honest.
Sorry, I had a question though.
Okay. Can we answer this question and then we come to your question?
Sure.
Okay, anyone would like to answer that question? Our Acharya says, better to associate with jungle animals. They will kill your body, but you will still carry your devotion, which you have inculcated in this birth, right? You'll get another birth and you start from that point onwards. But if you associate with Mayavadis people, what will happen? They will kill the foundation. So that will take you to hell because whole devotional foundation is killed by them. You God, me God, everyone is God. Keshav Maharaj was explaining in one class that he saw a person walking past. He was on the street distributing books, and the person's T-shirt says, "I was an atheist. I was an atheist." And Maharaj was very happy inside without speaking anything that, oh, this person was an atheist, now he's become theist. And then on the back of the T-shirt, when he passed through, it was written, till I realize I am God myself. So I was a theist till I realized I'm God myself. So this Advaitavad will kill everything actually. So we should be very, very careful in reading or listening these commentaries. These speakers may be very popular, can have very flowery language, but please stay away and get knowledge from Prabhupada Bhagavad Gita. Yes, Mayadish Prabhuji, your question.
Prabhu, you mentioned Mayavadi say that Brahma Satya Jagat Mithya. So what is the version that we say in the similar?
So mithya, what we say, Prabhuji, is temporary, not false. It's not
Right.
an illusion. Illusion means like, Prabhu, you saw a dream. You can't touch anyone right now. No, you saw a dream, you may still remember it, but it's also in the subtle form, right? Dream came in your last night sleep or something, or during the day sleep, and it went away. No? You can't say it's temporary. Can you present it in front of anyone? No, you can't. But you, your body, your family, your house, your car, it's all there. It exists. You can't say it doesn't exist. So what we say, these are all temporary. So the meanings change the whole context, basically. So when
It's the
they say
same word, but the meanings change.
yes, Prabhu. And when we change the meaning without the proper context, without the proper commentary, we have a complete different idea of the same sentence. Like Srinivas Prabhu was sharing, no, Radha Krishnan, he has written commentaries on Bhagavad Gita and others as well. I don't want to name them. They say, look at my creation. They literally write, you can read in Bhagavad Gita. Look at my creation. Like what we are creating, I'm sorry to say, only stool and urine and pus and blood. What else our body produces? Some substance from our nose on the early winter mornings, some substance from our mouth. Any good things comes out from anyone's body? Please don't mind, but all bad some substances come out from all the holes. This is how the body has been created. Only one hole can produce some nice thing, which is our vacha, vani. That also we sometimes, get into illusion and we say so many wrong things. So nothing comes good out of these holes. This is how the body has been created. But Prabhupada said you can make the best use of the bad bargain. This body is a bad bargain. You can make the best use of. You can engage this body in Krishna's seva and spiritualize the whole body and go back to Godhead. Is that okay, Mahadish Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhu. Thank you.
Thank you. Sanjay Prabhu.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, just in continuation of Mayadhesh Prabhu's question, please correct me. Is it fair to say that our one-liner response to Brahma Satyam Jagat Mithya is Achinta Bhed Bhed? Achinta Bhed Bhed is a one-liner response to. Is that a fair?
I would say from the context what we are discussing right now, Brahma Satyam Jagat Mithya, let it be separate. But in one sense, you can connect the philosophy of Achintya Bheda Bheda here as well. But very clearly, our acharyas are saying things are not illusory; they are temporary.
I see. Fair.
So if you just translate that in this context here, Okay, let's move forward. So please be very, very careful. Prabhupada is warning all of us. certainly, Prabhupada writes that certainly bewildered on the path of spiritual guidance, because you may think I'm very advanced, a Mayavadi advanced person, they will not be able to go back home, back to Godhead. So again, Shivanakam Shama Evahi Kevla. So don't just do unnecessary labor, do labor which produces some results. And our results are Krishna Prema. Krishna Prema is the Pancham Purushartha. Okay, Prabhupada gives caution, mistakes of other Bhagavad Gita commentaries. So Prabhupada is saying, in general, translators of Bhagavad Gita have brushed aside the person Krishna to make room for their own concepts and philosophies. Very clearly, they want to make themselves famous, not Krishna famous. That's why they do it. I'm the author. Prabhupada, in the very beginning, giving all the credit to his spiritual master. The history of Mahabharata is considered as mythology. Many times when you hear in mythology of Ramayana and Mahabharata, because these commentators have done so much disservice to the society, not service, disservice to the society, that we can't understand that these Ramayana, Mahabharata, they're actual. They're not some historical figures which never existed. Someone just wrote some stories. And Sri Krishna become a poetic device for presenting ideas of some anonymous genius, or at the best, he becomes minor historical personage. Like we have celebrities, I don't know to name it, just celebrities, what do you call, Bollywood, Tollywood, Hollywood, whatever. Anyway, we are in Krishnawood. All these celebrities, they're very, very popular. And you can think, oh, Krishna is also a celebrity. He was very powerful, he was very wise. Some people were telling me live, oh, he was very popular, he was very powerful person. That's all. No, he was not just a powerful person. He's God. Not he was not was. He is. He is all time. He is absolute truth. But because of these commentaries, people have quite a wrong understanding of Krishna and his teaching. Lord Sri Krishna is both the goal and the substance of Bhagavad Gita. In every verse of Bhagavad Gita, Krishna is residing and he's the goal. Prabhupada was once asked, why do you chant? Prabhupada said, to chant more. What's the goal of chanting? To chant. So, like that, we have to understand Bhagavad Gita. And that's why Prabhupada said very clearly, Shrutikirti Prabhu was here recently and he was telling, Prabhupada said this to Shrutikirti Prabhu, which I'm just sort of paraphrasing. If anyone reads one book, he can become Krishna conscious. And then he said, anyone reads even one chapter, he can become Krishna conscious. What to speak of one chapter? Anyone reads even one page, he can become Krishna conscious. And then Prabhupada said, what to speak of one page? Even if you read one line, you can become Krishna conscious. So it's a matter of interpreting it nicely with the blessings of our teachers. Then we can understand that one line, Man mana bhav mad bhakto madhyaji mam namaskuru. Krishna has given this one line that you can make the goal of your whole life. You can live that life under that shloka. You can make a goal, that line, and make your life successful in that way. And go back home, back to Godhead. You don't have to learn 700 verses of Bhagavad Gita. Just one verse, half a verse, quarter a verse is actually enough. Aham sarvasya prabho matta sarvam pravartate. One line, you can live your whole life. So we have to live life like that. Mayadhish Prabhu, is it okay if I take the questions later? So we can just move forward, unless a very quick one.
Just if that's okay. In the previous slide, you mentioned that if someone reads the translation of Shankaracharya, then I think Prabhupada mentions that. But isn't Shankaracharya considered an avatar of Lord Shiva?
Absolutely,
So
Prabhu.
how are we to
Absolutely.
take that? Because he's also considered a devotee.
He is considered a devotee. He's a devotee, has written Gita Mahatmya. We'll talk about Shankaracharya Prabhu after 20 minutes or so. Is that okay?
Sure.
I'm going to talk about Shankaracharya. It's an important topic. Yeah. There's so much to talk about in this. Anyway, let's move forward. So about this translation, so you'll say, what is the specialty of this translation? Prabhupada's writing it. In this translation and commentary accompanies it, purpose is to direct reader to Krishna. So very clearly, Prabhupada says the purpose is Krishna, not me. Me means Prabhupada. I am not the goal of this writing. Krishna is the goal. Even Prabhupada used to read his own books, and he will say, quite often you would have heard in the lectures, Prabhupada will say, these books are not written by me. These books are written by Krishna. And that's why he will enjoy reading his own books. He will say, I have not written this book. Krishna comes and dictates me. I'm just putting my pen. He was very humble, obviously, but these purports, and you can feel how strongly he has written what he has written. In few lines, Prabhupada will pass so much message. So the purpose is to direct reader to Krishna. Okay, thus Bhagavad Gita becomes wholly consistent and comprehensible. So it's not like you're reading one verse separate to another verse. In all the verses, and we'll talk about it when we reach there, how they are interconnected so well, how chapters are put so well interconnected, verses are interconnected, themes are interconnected. When you read the whole thing, you just relish. You just relish. When I started reading Bhagavad Gita many years ago, I was like, okay, it was a bit heavy for me. But when I read one chapter, two chapter, three chapters, started making some sense. And then when you read it second time, some extra sense, third time, some extra sense, fifth time, some more sense. Even today, there's so much to discover in Bhagavad Gita, but it just makes sense. And when it makes sense, you just relish it. You just smile when you open Bhagavad Gita. Initially, when you open Bhagavad Gita, you sleep. After a while, when you understand it, actually you smile. It is so nice. It's so nice. It says, Bhagavad Gita, some Rasik Acharya said, Bhagavad Gita is a love letter of Krishna. If you want to love Krishna, there's the love letter Krishna has given you. And he's inviting all of us. He's inviting all of us that please come to my loka. Please, I'll look after you. I'll look after you. And he's saying you don't have to worry about anything else. Aham tvam sarva papebhyo mokshashami masucha. I'll take care of you. Don't worry. So sweetly. When we come to chapter 18, you'll see literally Krishna's heart jumping out of Bhagavad Gita. You'll say, wow, wow, it's so nice. Every verse, Krishna is opening his heart and saying, this is what I want, but I still respect your independence. Yathechasi tatha kuru. Whatever you desire, you do that. Like a nice, loving father. A loving father does not force the kids. He just loves the kids. Beta, do like that. Beta, do like that. Okay, if you don't want to do like that, okay, go that route. It's a very long route. You'll come back to this route. But he's always loving all of us. Okay, since the Krishna is the speaker of Bhagavad Gita, his ultimate goal, Bhagavad Gita, as it is, presents this great scripture in its true terms. So true spirit is presented in this translation, which is known as Bhagavad Gita as it is. Okay, let's move forward to the next section. What is the purpose of Srimad Bhagavad Gita as it is? Someone want to read this quickly? Anyone?
Yes, Prabhu.
Yes, please, Prabhu.
Point number 1,
to guide conditioned soul.
Mute.
Sorry, Prabhu, you're on mute.
Okay, sorry. Guide conditioned soul to the same purpose for which which Krishna descends to this planet once in the day of Brahma, which is 8.
Yeah, don't worry.
Yeah.
You can go to the next one, Prabhu.
Yeah, the purpose is stated in Bhagavad Gita, and we have to accept it as it is. Otherwise, no point in understanding Gita and its speaker Krishna. To interpret Bhagavad Gita without any reference to the will of Krishna is greatest offense because it defeats the whole purpose. In order, say oneself, one must understand Shri Krishna as was directly understood by Arjuna, Krishna's first disciple and fulfilled mission of life.
Okay, so these are a few points which Prabhupada is writing in his preface. We've just sort of put in a numbering there. So very nice. He's saying to interpret Bhagavad Gita without any reference to the will of Krishna is the greatest offense. So please try to get this spirit of Krishna, why he is giving this message. And we'll talk about this a little later if we get there today. Someone else can read these points quickly. I'm not going to expand every point because, but it's good to read just to understand what Prabhupada is saying in Bhagavad Gita preface.
Krishna consciousness movement is very essential for human society as it defeats the mundane speculators and make them understand Krishna's position and their factual position as eternal servant of Lord and revive their eternal relationship. Hence, every living being should hear for their own interest. In Kali Yuga, people in general think advancement in material comforts, sense gratification, will make them happy. They are unaware of the stringent laws of the material nature which is binding them. Instead of satisfying their own material sense, One has to satisfy the senses of the Lord. That is the highest perfection of life. Lord Krishna wants this and he demands it. This is central point of Bhagavad Gita. And Krishna consciousness movement teaches this theme. One should take help from Krishna consciousness movement and derive the greatest benefit of studying Bhagavad Gita as it is and become pure devotee of the Lord.
Thank you, Prabhu. So what's the purpose here? Become pure devotee of the Lord. Understand Krishna's spirit. And I really like this line where it says, Lord Krishna wants this and he demands it. Sarva dharmanu parityaja. He's saying so boldly, abandon all varieties of religion and surrender unto me openly. He's not thinking like what other demigods will think, this and that. What will happen to us? What will happen to our karmic reaction? He says, Ma suchar, do not fear. So Krishna wants it and he demands it. But he still gives you an opportunity. You still don't want it? Okay, go for another 10 lifetimes and come back if you wanted to. Okay, let's dive into introduction now. So we've done the preface. This is the Mangala Charan. I'm not going to read all that. I hope you all know these verses. If you don't, I highly recommend to please learn these verses. They are very sweet verses. The purpose is not just to read through these verses. The purpose of Mangalacharan in any book, the Mangalacharan is there. Mangalacharan does three things. It does the Vastu Nirdesh. Vastu Nirdesh means the objective of the book. It does Pranam, Namaskar, and it invokes the blessings. So without doing Mangalacharan, if you're trying to do anything, especially spiritual things, without it means you're not taking the blessings of our seniors, our acharyas, that part will not be very successful. That's why before giving Bhagavatam class or Bhagavad Gita class or any special thing, we always pray to Krishna, we pray to Prabhupada, we pray to our seniors that please give us blessings so that we can perform this seva nicely in a nice mood. Not to impress the people, but for our purification. And if some people's heart changes in that process, that's very nice. That's Krishna's arrangement. So please read through this and learn them by heart. Okay. Now, what is the necessity of Bhagavad Gita as it is? Now you can say there's so many commentaries in the markets. Prabhupada writes. This is all Prabhupada writing. Prabhupada asks a question and Prabhupada responds to the question. Many commentaries of Bhagavad Gita available. Why this edition? None of them is strictly authoritative because all of them have expressed their own opinion without touching the spirit of Bhagavad Gita. So that's the reason Prabhupada writing his Bhagavad Gita. What is the vital principle of Bhagavad Gita? Prabhupada said, is mentioned in the Gita itself, taking the medicine as per the direction given by physician, not by the whim. So how should we take the medication? We don't have our Manmohan Prabhu today. He's our doctor, Prabhuji. So if you go to the doctor and doctor says, take this medication, 3 times a day, 5 days for the next 5 days. You cannot interpret as per your own whim. He will say, take the medication before food or after food. If you follow his prescription nicely, if you follow his do's and don'ts nicely, then after 5 days, which he has recommended, for example, your disease should go away, isn't it? But if you misinterpret his interpretations, then what will happen? The disease will not go, and you will think, oh, doctor is not very powerful. No, the doctor is powerful. We are not following the principles given by the doctor nicely. So in many cases, if not in all cases, when we are not advancing, the problem is we're not following the process correctly, sincerely, as yet. And the day we become sincere, once Prabhupada was asked, how long will it take to become Krishna conscious? A pure devotee. What was the answer of Prabhupada? 1 moment. In 1 moment. In Ramayana, Lord Ram says when Vibhishan is going to surrender, Sakrat e prapannoyam tab asmai iti yachate. Abhayam sarvada tasmai dadati eva etat vratam mama. Sakrade prapannoyam. Even once if someone surrenders unto me, even once, not every day, not 24/7, even once, sakrad eva prapannoyam. If someone surrenders to me and says, Tab asmai, I am yours, main aapka hu. What does he say? Sincerely, from the bottom of his heart. So far I've been serving Maya, but now, today, onwards from this point, I'm yours, Sri Radha Gopinath. Please accept me. I'm a garbage. I agree with that. Please accept this garbage. Gopinath can change your heart in 1 moment. But the problem is, we don't do that. We have so much ego. I am so and so. I'm very popular. I have this skill and that skill. And then Gopinath says, okay, When, like Draupadi, you will surrender unto me, both hands in the air, then I will come and rescue you. Otherwise, you keep shouting, keep shouting. That's what we are doing in many cases. Huh? So we have to take Bhagavad Gita in the spirit of Krishna. Bhagavad Gita should be accepted as directed by speaker Krishna. Lord Krishna establishes himself as Bhagwan. We'll read many, many verses. I'll ask these questions as well. Krishna will say, I'm Bhagwan. He says this. Aham sarvasvaro matta sarvam parvartate. 10.8, 7.7. Matta partaram na anyat kinchidasya ranjaya. Just keep speaking this verse. He has no problem with that. He is Bhagwan. He is Bhagwan. It's a fact. This is not just confirmed by Krishna. I can also say I'm Bhagwan. I can write some verses as well. But this fact of him being Bhagwan is confirmed by great acharyas like Shankaracharya. Mahadis Prabhu was saying, we'll talk about Shankaracharya later. Shankaracharya have also Bhaja Govindam, Bhaja Govindam, Bhaja Govindam Mudmate. He's written this Bhaja Govindam. Many devotees sing as well. Many devotees give classes on this Bhaja Govindam. So he is a devotee, but he is a hidden devotee, Mahadesh Prabhu. He's a hidden devotee. And why he was a hidden devotee, if we get chance, we'll talk about it. Ramanujacharya, Madhavacharya, Nimbarka Swami, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, every single great saint, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is not a saint, he's a Bhagwan himself. Every saint has accepted him as Bhagwan. Also mentioned not only in BG, in BS, Brahma Samhita, Srimad Bhagavatam, and all the Puranas. We can have classes and classes just on this one line. What is the proof? Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Bhagavatam openly says, 1.3.28, Ete Chanchkala Punsa, Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. Others may be Bhagwan. Sometimes we say, Agastya Bhagwan, Narad Bhagwan, Indra Bhagwan, this Bhagwan, that Bhagwan. Krishna is not just Bhagwan. He is the Swayam Bhagwan. He is the source of all those Bhagwans as well. So he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, absolute truth. Therefore, Bhagavad Gita should be taken as directed by Lord Krishna, not from any unauthorized speakers and writers and commentators. Okay. It presents the Vedic knowledge is complete, infallible, and beyond mistakes. So the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita is beyond any mistake. So you cannot find any different versions of Bhagavad Gita. Like our software on the mobile keeps getting upgraded, and the upgraded version is many times is worse than the previous version. Your apps are hanging, and this is freezing, and that is freezing. But Bhagavad Gita only have one version. 5,000 years ago, whatever Krishna spoke is still exactly same relevance in all time, place, and circumstances. This is not an old book. Someone was saying, if you want some new concepts, go to the old book. So if you want anything new, Bhagavad Gita is a book where every single question which a soul can have is already answered. Now, it doesn't tell you how to make a pizza, but it does tell you how much to eat. Yuktahar viharasya, yukta chesasya karmasu, 617. So Bhagavad Gita talks all different principles of living the life here, making your life perfect, and how to go back to God, and what to expect there. That also is explained in chapter 8, for example. Vedas knowledge is not a matter of research, it comes down in parampara. So there's a aroha and avroha, we'll talk about it. Aroha means ascending knowledge, avroha means descending knowledge. So Bhagavad Gita knowledge is not a matter of research. You do some research and you come to this conclusion. Scientists keep making different conclusions today, and tomorrow some anti-Darwin theory comes in. Darwin. Hang on a second. Anti-Darwin is there. Galileo said Earth is flat. Hang on a second. 50 years ago, Earth is Bhumandal. Even sweeper in India knew about it. But Galileo has to do so many researches to come to the conclusion, which was also false. The distance of Prithvi to Surya, Earth to Surya, is given even in Hanuman Chalisa, Jug Sahasra Jojan Parbhanu. Now science is doing so many discoveries. 5th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, exact distances there, speeds are given, everything is given. Now they are researching, spending billions of dollars, coming to the same conclusion. Shastra has already given everything, but we don't trust Shastra. Science says that it matches with science. No. Science has to match with Shastra, not other way. Because this knowledge is beyond mistakes. There's no mistake in this knowledge. Okay, quickly about 4 sampradayas. You may know, you may not know, so just a quick introduction. So these are the 4 sampradayas, 4 bona fide sampradayas written in Padma Puran. When it says anyone who's out of this sampradaya will not get the phala of his activities. So if you want to go back to Krishna, Krishna has given this authority to these 4 sampradaya, to the acharyas of these 4 sampradayas, or the representative of these acharyas. So if you follow one of them, it's a bona fide sampradaya. So you can obviously go anywhere. So there are 4 sampradayas: Brahma Sampradaya, Sri Sampradaya, Rudra Sampradaya, and Kumar Sampradaya. So Brahma Sampradaya, obviously the Acharya is Brahmaji. Who has made them Acharya? Krishna. So Krishna gave direct knowledge to Brahmaji. We read this in Bhagavatam 2nd canto. Krishna has also given knowledge to Lakshmi ji or Shri ji, and she has initiated sampradaya called Shri Sampradaya. Krishna also gave knowledge to Rudra or Shiv ji. It's called Rudra Sampradaya or Nimbarka Sampradaya, modern name. Also gave knowledge to Kumaras directly. 4 Kumaras, you can see the picture also. So they are all perfectly, sorry, Nimbarka is Kumara Sampradaya, Rudra is Vishnu Swami. So they're all bona fide sampradaya. Any sampradaya you sincerely follow their teachings, you can go back to Godhead. Our sampradaya is under Brahma Sampradaya. After Lord Brahma, there are many acharyas, and we'll read their name in a minute. Main is, you can see on the screen, is Lord Brahma, then Narad Muni, Madhavacharya, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, and our Srila Prabhupada. So we are in Brahma Madhav Gaudiya Sampradaya. So Madhav refers to Madhavacharya, Gaudiya refers to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu because he was from Gauda Desh. So Brahma Madhav Gaudiya Sampradaya, this is what we are sitting in, and by the mercy of Srila Prabhupada, we have all the facilities given to us. If we follow that facilities given to us by Prabhupada and our acharyas, we can go back to Godhead in this particular lifetime. We don't have to take Punarjanma na vidyate. Janma karma cha me divyam evam yaveti tatata tektva deham punarjan na vidyate. So if you want to go back to Godhead, every single thing is given by our acharyas. Okay, I'm not going to read all the list here, but the list is given in Bhagavad Gita introduction by Srila Prabhupada. Prabhupada in this series, as you can say, Krishna is number 1, Prabhupada is on number 32. So you can just connect the parampara. So if anyone wants to know if this ISKCON is bona fide or no, here's the Praman. And you can see some pictures as well, the disciplic succession. Okay, you can read in Bhagavad Gita introduction. Srila Prabhupada commentary is very, very important. Prabhupada is again obviously writing his commentaries, but these commentaries are referenced by another commentary. So Prabhupada has read the commentaries of our acharyas and he's writing based on his understanding. So Prabhupada primarily taking the help of Sri Baladev Vidya Bhushan. So Baladev Vidya Bhushan is a great acharya. I think he came in 1600th century. He has written commentary on Govinda Bhashya. He established the whole Siddhanta. He is our Siddhanta Acharya. Prabhupada referring to his commentary as a primary source of reference. He also referring to Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. Now, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is the guru of Baladev Vidya Bhushan. So, Baladev Vidya Bhushan is the disciple. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is the guru. We read Sansara Davanal Guru Ashtak every day. Guru Ashtak was written by Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. So, he's a very, very great Acharya. He has written commentaries on Bhagavad Gita. Actually, he was the first one to write commentary on Bhagavad Gita. And he wrote commentaries on Srimad Bhagavatam, Sararth Darshani and Sararth Varshani. Sararth Darshani is a commentary on Bhagavad Gita. Sararth Varshani is a commentary on Bhagavad Gita. Baladev Vidyabhushan wrote another commentary on Bhagavad Gita, which Prabhupada is referring to. And we have Sridhar Swami. Sridhar Swami is the first Acharya, you can say, who wrote commentary on Srimad Bhagavatam. First bona fide, you can say. Even Chaitanya Mahaprabhu recommended the commentaries of Sridhar Swami. He's such a great Acharya. And Sripad Ramanujacharya. We'll see in 10th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Prabhupada is profusely referring to commentaries of Sripad Ramanujacharya and different other places as well. Prabhupada, you won't believe, Prabhupada didn't have any Google or internet that time, right? He knew these verses in his head. I get so surprised by reading these commentaries, We don't even remember 5 verses. Even if you remember today on the exam day, you come out of the exam hall, you ask Giriraj Prabhu, can you tell this verse? Prabhu, exam ho gaya. Khattam. Sorry, Prabhu. No, he remembers 50 verses. Generally, I don't remember verse. My memory is not so good. But Prabhupada remembered everything. He was hardly carrying any scriptures. He has read so much and he retained those things. And he was writing commentaries while doing the whole world tour. But these are our acharyas, which you should also pay obeisances to because they have given us so much knowledge. That's why without this Guru Parampara, we cannot understand anything actually. We may feel like we understood many things, we know many verses, but actually we will not understand. Bhakti Vikas Maharaj was saying the tattva of these scriptures we will never understand. Book is available in the market. You can go to Vedabase, you can read it. But the tattva you will not understand. Why you are reading this book, what you are supposed to do after reading this verse, that you will only understand by the blessings of our Guru Parampara. So that's why it's extremely important to really feel grateful to our Guru, our Prabhupada, and all these different acharyas who have given us so much knowledge, and we are so much indebted to them. So next time, you feel pride, go and look at these acharyas, read their Jeevani autobiography, and they are very, very beautiful, very inspiring. Okay. Now we go into setting of the scene. So this is again Prabhupada writings. I'll be very quick here. I'm sure everyone knows setting of the scene. And Prabhupada has written, as I said, for the Western audience initially. Now this slide is very nice. This applies on all the books. Again, I have written a very short version. This slide itself is a huge slide, but just for your reference purpose, I've given little knowledge here. I hope that will be useful. So our Vedic knowledge, if you take the whole Vedic canon, now this Vedic word itself is huge. What is included and what is not included, that's also a topic of debate. But just given whatever the Vedic scriptures we have available, just for your knowledge, because of the attacks of Muslims and British, we only have 5% of the knowledge which was present 500 years ago. So 500 or 600 years ago, the knowledge which was available, today we only have 5% of it available. Like for Brahma Samhita, which we read in the temple every day, there are 100 chapters spoken by Brahmaji. We only have one chapter available, which is the 5th chapter. So when we read Ishvara Paramakrishna, it's BS 5.1. So we only have one chapter. So 99 chapters are lost. And this one chapter also was not in the written format. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu heard it and he wrote it. There's only one copy available. So if you have been to Guruvayu temple, anyone been to Guruvayu temple from South India? No? Please go. I have not also visited. I heard a lot of glories about it. Anyway, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu visited the temple and he literally wrote by his own hand Brahma Samhita because he really liked it. And he came back and then many copies were available after his time. Anyway, so the whole Vedic knowledge you can divide again on a very broad level in Shruti and Smriti. So Shruti means something which is heard and remembered. So Shruti means something which is heard. Aham sarvas prabho matta sarvam pravartate. This is heard and spoken as it is. There's no change in it. Everyone knows this verse, I guess. So Shruti means something which is coming from Supreme Personality of Godhead, heard, written, presented, remembered as it is. There is no change to it at all. That's called Shruti. While Smriti means what is heard, assimilated, digested, and represented in my words. You understand? Smriti means what is being remembered in my head as per my understanding. So Shruti, exactly as it, Smriti means what is heard, digested. Like many times you hear something and then you present that knowledge back. It says Shrutis is like mother, Smritis is like elder sister. Elder sister who is giving knowledge to a younger brother. So she has also learned from the mother, Shruti, and then she's presenting. Mother is busy in the household work. Prabhupada gives this example, and then sister is presenting this knowledge to younger brother. And then she can expand on some concept. She can explain in a relevant example way. So this is now. Some people, some Karmkandi people think Smritis are lower, Shrutis are higher because Shrutis are as it is, Smritis are expanded. That is not true. In Shruti itself, we have verse references which says your Shruti knowledge will not be completely understood unless you have read Smritis. Smritis are also known as Pancham Veda. So there are 4 Vedas. They are known as Pancham Veda. The reference is available in Mahabharata and in Bhagavatam itself as well. This is a whole topic. I'm not opening the whole thing here, but just giving a reference. Where does Bhagavad Gita stand here? So Shruti and Smriti. Shruti is basically what is heard and retained and spoken as it is. Smriti, what is heard, digested, assimilated, and then on a practical basis, sages can expand that knowledge. Now again, very high level, Shruti can be divided into 3 parts. I'm putting a disclaimer here, it's on a very, very high level. There are much more topics in it, but very high level for your understanding and reference. It can be divided into Vedas, Upavedas, and Vedangas. So Vedas, everyone knows about it. Upavedas, Dhanurveda, Ayurveda, they're all known as Upavedas, and there are Vedangas. Don't worry what they are if you don't know. So Vedas, we all know, Rig Ved, Yajur Ved, Sam Ved, and Atharved. This was the question in our history, I guess, when we were very, very young. So everyone knows that. Now, Smriti is divided into 6 parts. Ritual Sutras, Tantras, Pancharatras, Puranas, Itihasas, and 6 Darshans. Now, 6 darshan is a huge topic. What are those 6 darshans and what do they talk about? Will not open that. Ritual sutras, don't worry about this. Tantras, don't worry. Pancharatras, now you'll hear sometime about Narada Pancharatra, for example. Now, in ISKCON, in Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya, we follow a vidhi which is written by Narad Muni on the banks of Kusum Sarovar in Vrindavan, which is known as Narada Pancharatra, for example. So he heard that knowledge for Pancharatra. And he has written all that knowledge in a book which is known as Narad, which is basically deals with deity worship. Anyway, we're not concerned about Pancharatras today. What we are concerned about, Puranas and Itihasas. So Puranas, anyone knows how many Puranas are there? Primary at least. So there are Puranas and Sub-Puranas.
18.
18 Puranas are there. Thank you. Now, within 18 Puranas, there are 6 in mode of goodness, 6 in mode of passion, and 6 in mode of ignorance. We'll not talk about that. This is written in Matsya Puran. The topmost Puran is Amala Puran, Srimad Bhagavatam Puran. That's done. Okay. The topic is done. Next is Itihasas. What does Itihas mean? Itihas itself has multiple meanings, this word Itihas. But Itihas, you can say, is history. But history which is not a mythology, it's an actual thing which has happened. Itihas generally deals with dynasties, while Puranas deals with conversations. So conversation between Shukadev Goswami and Parikshit Maharaj, Suta Goswami and Sonak Rishi, Vidura and Maitreya. They're all conversations, conversation based, and you'll go different places and you'll come back to that, right? Roughly speaking. Itihas refers to dynasties, primarily speaking, like Surya dynasty, which is Ramayana. And then we have Kuru dynasty, which is Mahabharat. We all are aware of this. Now, Mahabharat, roughly speaking, has 100 to 105,000 verses. Now, in Western world, which is the longest poem written by Shakespeare, and he was considered the topmost, 15,000 verses. And Mahabharata is 7 times bigger than Shakespeare's biggest literature available to mankind today. To talk about Vedas, like, sorry to say, these scientific advancements are quite insignificant, We're not undermining these people, and they are respectable people, what they have done. But you cannot say, these are all mythologies. They are available, 105,000 verses in Mahabharata. Ramayana, 24,000 verses. Just one Ramayana. There are so many Ramayanas. So this is just endless. Now, under Smriti, under Itihasas, under Mahabharat, there are 18 Parvas. And in 18 Parvas, we have one Parva called Bhishma Parva. And within the part of Bhishma Parva, we have our sweet Bhagavad Gita. I just wanted to present where Bhagavad Gita stands in this whole Vedic canon. Okay? So Vedic canon divided into Shruti and Smriti. Within Smriti, we have 6 different parts. So one part is Itihas. One of the Itihas is Mahabharat. Under Mahabharat, we have Bhishma Par. Within Bhishma Par, we have sweet Bhagavad Gita. Now, technically speaking, Bhagavad Gita stands where? In Shruti or Smriti? Technically, as per this diagram here.
Smriti.
Smriti? Confirmed? Confirmed. What is the definition of Shruti? Which is heard from Bhagwan as it is. Now, Bhagavad Gita is heard from whom? Bhagwan. What is written in the book, all the 700 verses, is written as it is. So isn't it's a Shruti? Yes. So Bhagavad Gita is a very, very special book. Even Shankaracharya, Ramanujacharya, all the acharyas, no acharyas have any doubt in that they may consider Bhagavatam, they may consider Krishna as person or impersonal, as a Jyoti or whatever, but they all have one common understanding. Bhagavad Gita is valid. Even Radhakrishnan, for example, he has written commentary on Bhagavad Gita. So everyone has a very respectful attitude towards Bhagavad Gita. Why? Because this is very, 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 very special. because this is Shruti amongst Smriti. No one can deny that. So technically, it branching wise, it's under Smriti. But because the knowledge is coming directly from God, directly from Krishna, it has to be a Shruti. So this is a Shruti amongst Smriti, and that's why this special position Bhagavad Gita holds. This is why Bhagavad Gita is considered the essence of all the Vedic literature. Sarvasya cham 15:15 in Bhagavad Gita. Sarvasya cham hridhi sannivishto matta smritir jnanam apohanam cha vedaisha sarver aham eva vedyo. Out of all the Vedas, what is to be known? Krishna says, I am to be known. And this is written in Bhagavad Gita. If you read Bhagavad Gita and understand it, you have read all the Vedic literature in essence. Bhagavad Gita gives every single concept what can be useful to you. Okay, so everyone is okay with this picture? Can I go forward? Yeah. Just a little context, if you didn't know, I'll just spend 1 minute on this slide. So there's a Kuru dynasty, Prabhupada writing all that actually, I'm just picturizing it. So there's a Kuru dynasty in this, there's a king Bharat, on this name, the whole Bharatvarsha came, and then in that dynasty, Bhishma Pitama is there, and there is a king called Dhritarashtra who is born blind, and his younger brother known as Pandu. Pandu has 5 sons, Dhritarashtra has 100 sons. The eldest amongst 100 sons is called Duryodhan. And his name itself says Duryodhan. Yodhan means Yuddha. Dur means bina karan ke. One who fights for dur reason, bad reason, wrong reason, who's always fighting. Huh? He was called Duryodhan. Are you Duryodhan? Sorry. We're all Duryodhans, huh? Sometimes. We fight for without reason. So don't just blame this Duryodhan. We're also Duryodhan. Mini Duryodhan. Huh? We may not be as bad as him, but we're all mini Duryodhan in at least some time, place, and circumstances because we fight for the bad reason. If you have good reason, then you will not fight. Jivera Sarup hoy Krishna Nityadas. Our Sarup is to be servant of Krishna and his representative. So, in one sense, there should not be any arguments ever. But we do argue, sometimes for good reason, sometimes for bad reason. But Duryodhan argued, fought for bad reason. I'll not go into that. Everyone knows the Mahabharata story. And Dronacharya was his teacher. We will see the presence of Dronacharya in Bhagavad Gita chapter 1. And they are fighting a war. Why they are fighting a war? Prabhupada explains, okay, before we go there, Prabhupada explains Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, which he has already said in Preface. He's re-saying that in introduction, and he will re-say in Bhagavad Gita again and again and again. He wants to hammer this point in your head. Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, with proofs. So Krishna descends on this earth planet. He descends as a king, as well as the nephew of Pandu's wife, Mother Kunti. This picture is from Srimad Bhagavatam 1.8, Canto 1, Chapter 8. But he is always a well-wisher of Pandavas who are very, very righteous. Why the war happened? Because we're going to start chapter 1. So Prabhupada writes, why the war happened? There's Duryodhan, there's a dice game. I'm sure everyone knows he cheated. Draupadi prayed to Krishna. Pandavas took some vows. Later they came back and they asked for the kingdom back. Duryodhan said, I will not give even a small piece of land in which you can put a head of the needle. You can understand the head of Duryodhan. So Duryodhan was so obstinate, he will not give any land. He said, if you want the land, you have to fight. You have to fight. And it happens in this world as well. Many times, people do cheat. Prabhupada himself was cheated by many people, and Prabhupada had to fight back. So not that fighting is always wrong. Violence also has its place, and this is also one message of Bhagavad Gita, one message amongst many other messages. Anyway, the fighting happened, and there's 11 Akshauhini Sena and all that, and within that fight, in the very, very beginning, on day 1, on hour 1, on minute 1, Bhagavad Gita was spoken. So Prabhupada writes all this in the introduction. Everyone is clear? Everyone is one pace? Okay. Now we'll start the overview of Bhagavad Gita. Now I'm looking at the watch at 8:58. So we'll do this. This is very, very important. I'm trying to give you the whole overview of Bhagavad Gita. Now Prabhupada doesn't write that, but this is from Prabhupada teachings. I've combined them together in a few slides. So it will give you a whole overview of Bhagavad Gita. If you wanted to give class to a uni student or something, you can use that overview of the whole thing. Now we'll do that obviously in next class. If there's any questions or comments or complaints or corrections, I can try to take that. Okay. I saw a hand up earlier, but now it's down. 2 participants. Okay, there is hands. Okay, Meera Mataji, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. One question regarding the Smriti and the Shruti. You mentioned that the Bhagavad Gita falls under the Smriti,
Yes.
under the Itihas line.
Yep.
But then it's also written in the Gita that Krishna spoke it to the son of sun god.
Yep. Vivaswan.
So
Yep. 4.1.
yes. So doesn't that automatically fall under Shruti?
No.
Like,
The thing is, this particular book which we are referring to, which has 700 verses, I'll talk about more about it next week in the overview. This book falls in Mahabharata. So we're just referring to this book for now. But the knowledge of this book, when we say knowledge again, the principles of this book was earlier spoken to Vivaswan. But we are not referring to that book. What Krishna spoke to Vivaswan, as it is, we don't have. Bhakti Swami Maharaj was asked this question. Did Krishna speak the same 700 verses to Vivaswan? Maharaj said, probably not, because Arjun wasn't there. It was Vivaswan, right? But the principles spoken to Vivaswan is same, because Krishna says, Sakalene mata yogo nishta parantapa. I am giving you that knowledge again. So we are referring, in this context, Mataji, just this book. So, and that falls under Mahabharata, Itihas, Smriti.
right. So that text that was spoken to
Vivaswan,
Vivaswan.
we don't have it available to us.
Okay. Like
Yes.
it's not available in the world.
No. Just to give you an example, Mataji, in Srimad Bhagavatam, currently the version which we have available, we have 18,000 verses. Now, if you go to Svargloka, just for a visit, don't go and stay there. Not a very nice place for devotees. If you happen to go there, just read Bhagavatam there. They have 100,000 verses there. So our Bhagavatam version, which is sometimes people think, oh, such a huge one, 18,000 verses. Hang on a second. This is the smallest version available to us in this universe. If you go to Shivloka, Shivji reads a Bhagavatam which has 1 crore verses. 1 crore verses. That's what Shivji reads. Now, Krishna knows we can't handle 1 crore verses. We can't even handle 100,000 verses. So Krishna said, okay, you just take 18,000 verses. And then we say, 18,000 verses? No way. Krishna says, okay, just take Bhagavad Gita, 700 verses. 700 verses. How many we have to remember for the exam? 13. I can't remember 13 verses. So this is our capacity, Mataji. So we are reading really very, 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 very short version, which is completely complete in itself. But we find it very, very hard because we are Kaliga people. 1:10 in Bhagavatam it says, Prayan Alpusha Sabya, Kalav Asmin Yuge Jana, Manda Sumanda Matayoho, Manda Bhagyu Parvata. We are very manda, very, very slow.
True.
If that helps, Mata. So yeah. So physically, we don't have that version available, but the same principles are available in this book.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. Thank you, Mata. Mayadhish Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
What is the difference between Sripad and Srila?
Sripad and Srila. Good question. I think it's just the address of respect, Prabhu. I never investigated on this one. We call Srila Prabhupada and we call Sripad Madhavacharya. I think just address of respect, Prabhu. On that time, whoever coined that term, it was added to say Madhavacharya, for example, or Sripad Ramanujacharya. But for Prabhupada, we are using Srila. But the essence is, Prabhu, is a word of respect. We are identifying that personality as a very unique person, very dear devotee of Krishna.
Sure. I have other questions, but I'll give the others turn and I'll ask at the end.
Okay, thank you, Prabhuji. Yes, and just to let you know, I do finish classes on time, so I do respect the watch. So today is the first day, sort of. So I'll take very quick questions. If the questions are big, we can definitely take next time. But I don't try to cross my time limits because people have families, they may have young kids. So I do respect that. So I'll take these 2 questions if they are quick. Yes, Aish Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu. First of all, thank you for that class today. Very interesting topics discussed. Very quick questions, Prabhu. Just wanted to inquire, will these slides that you shared, will they be shared with us as well?
Not really. I'm constantly improving, Prabhu. And just before the class, I improved them as well. But you can watch the video, Prabhuji. You can watch the video and take whatever the relevance things you need for your knowledge of a presentations. Feel free.
And the second thing was, briefly, like as brief as you can you just explain the concept of Pancharatras? That went over my head a little bit.
Okay, Pancharatra is a book. Okay, I'll tell you the example of Narad Pancharatra is a book of deity worship. So Narad Muni personally has given guidance how to worship the deity. So every ISKCON temple, at least I can talk about, will have in their deity department a book, a manual, you can say. So a manual which tells Prabhuji how to worship Krishna. Like you would have seen Gaura Arti or any Arti. Pujaris have a specific order of specific things offering. How many times they offer the chamar, how many times they offer the Arti, in which order they offer the lamp and then the water and the chamar. This is all coming from this particular book. So these Pancharatras deals with deity worship, Prabhu. And we follow Narad Pancharatra. So there are Bhagavat Vidhis and there are Pancharatrika Vidhis. So when we read a book, this is called Bhagavat Vidhi. You're worshipping Krishna. Right now, you're worshipping Krishna by reading Bhagavad Gita. This is called Bhagavat Vidhi. And there's a Pancharatra. If you go on the altar and worship, so if you have deities at home, you'll be worshipping, right? You'll be offering some lamp or some flowers to the deities. That is called Pancharatra Vidhi. So we worship Krishna through Pancharatra as well as Bhagavat Vidhi. So right now, we are worshipping Bhagavat Vidhi. And in the temple artis, you can say it's Narada Pancharatra Vidhi. Pancharatra Vidhi.
Understood, Prabhu. Thank you so
Okay,
much.
thank you, Prabhuji. Supriya Mataji, is it okay if I answer your question next week? Please write
Yes,
it.
Prabhu.
I don't mind. Sailen Prabhu, I'm sorry. As I said, it's 9:05. I do like to finish on time. So please write your questions, and any questions are most welcome, and we'll try to respond them. I'll just give it to Yash Prabhu for a second if he has any announcements.
Yes, Prabhu, just one quick thing. Just request to everyone to put their names properly on the board so that we can take the attendance correctly. Otherwise, somebody will be missed.
Yeah, very important. You're coming, attending all the class, and if your name is written as iPhone or Samsung Galaxy or something, you will not get that in Smart. So please do it. That will be very nice. Yes, yes, Prabhu, anything else?
Just
And we are preparing the drive access. We will give you the drive access for all the documents, all the information. Even if the information is not complete, it will just come through because we're talking about exam today, which is still 6 months ahead. So yeah, so just go through this MIHE guide at least, which is available. Prabhu, is it available on the WhatsApp group at least?
Yes, Prabhu. The drive is already shared, but I will
It's already
reshare
shared.
on the
Okay,
class.
please reshare or pin those messages, Prabhuji.
Yes.
Pin the PDF because some people are joining today. And yeah. This is the main thing. Everything else will come on the journey. Okay. Hare Krishna, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. All glories
One
to
question.
devotees. One second. Yes.
Can those guide be emailed to us, please?
Mother, just pick up from the group and then do whatever you want. Because there's so many people to email otherwise. And we don't have all the email addresses yet. We are still compiling the whole list. So you can download it and then you can put it anywhere. Huh? Okay, thank you everyone. We'll see you all next Wednesday. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhupada ki jai. Vancha kalptarvasya kripa sindhu evacha patitanam pavnebhyo vaishnavibhyo anant kodi vaishnava ki jai.
Thank you,
Hare
Prabhu.
Krishna.
Thank you, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.